Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. We are live. It is 6 o'clock. I go live every single Monday to talk about making money online with digital marketing and answer your questions. So, giving you guys a second to hop on and join me. Maverick, come here. He brought me his toy bear. Anyways, today was a pretty slow Monday. I usually make my Mondays very productive, but I did not sleep last night at all. I basically rolled around until 2 a.m. I could not sleep. Then I finally fell asleep, woke up at 3 a.m. because I had to go to the bathroom. And then my husband's alarm went off at 6. And like I said, we are just not... Hi, buddy. Come here, Miller. Miller, come. We are not morning people. So his alarm basically went off from like 6 to, I don't even know, 7:30. And I was like, wow, I guess I'm getting up for the day. But I went through it exhausted. Come here, lay down. Oh my gosh, I got my dogs right by me. They want to lay right here. But the nice part of that is if that would have been 3 years ago, I would have drove to school. I would have been grumpy. I would have been exhausted. And now that I took the time to learn the skills back then, set up my business so that I have income coming in, that when I have days like today where I'm just like not in it, if I were to be sick, anything like that, I'm not having to force it, and I can just relax, rest. I can be on the couch like I am right now, get my things done on a computer, and just take the time I need. And I think that we forget how important that is because we don't get that luxury in a 9 to 5. It's like, doesn't matter how you're feeling. If you're exhausted, if you didn't get the sleep, like you're expected to show up and perform 110%. And we're not robots. Like, we're people. And I'll never take that for granted, especially, I think it goes for any job. Everyone's situation's so different. But for me specifically, it was just like kids. I don't have my own kids yet, but being in a classroom, like I get, like when you're tired, you're sick, like they don't care, right? Like they're feeling good, whatever it is, they're running on their 100%. And as an adult, you're just like, oh my goodness, like I just need a minute, and you don't get that. And so now every time I have something that I was never able to do before, I just sit and I'm like, oh, I am so thankful that I stopped and I took the time to learn these skills. So I would just love to hear from you guys that are hopping on right now. I need to silence this. I don't want that beeping. First of all, I want to hear, where are you calling in from? So if you want to drop where you are calling in from. I'd love to hear it. We've got I see some similar faces and I see some new faces, I think, or handles. Some of you guys don't have like a profile picture, but where are we calling in from? And then after you say where you're calling in from, I'd love if you've dropped a 1 if you've attended my lives before, and a 2 if this is the first time you're hopping in. So like I said, a 1 if you've joined before, 2 if you're kind of brand new to these. Georgia, Arizona. I love Arizona. My husband and I have been looking. We are tired of the Iowa cold. Chicago. Oh, my brother-in-law lives in Chicago. Welcome back. We got lots of welcome backs. Awesome. We got 1. Love it. 2. Well, welcome. I can't tell by your handle, but welcome. Thank you for being here. Okay. So I also want to know, before we kind of dive in a little bit deeper, is why are you here? Like, why are you attending this live? Like, what is bringing you? Is it to learn more about this? Is it you want to get started? You're skeptical and have questions? You're stuck somewhere? Like, why are you on my live tonight? Or, my ones that you've shown up multiple times? Like, what brings you to this time at Monday at 6 p.m.? I'm like at a loss for words. I'm tired tonight. I was like trying to, when you're like so tired, you can't sleep or take a nap. Like that was me today. I was like, I'm so tired. Come on, buddy. What brings you to these lives? I'd love to kind of hear that. Look at this little cuddle guy. He's so cute. This is Miller. He's our tricolored Bernice. Give you guys a second to type in there. He's actually going to be, what is today? The 2nd? He's going to be 6 in 10 days. It's crazy. I remember when we got him during COVID in 2020. We had just moved into our townhouse. I was like, I'm not going back to teaching until, March of 2020. They told us we were staying home and I wasn't going back till August. I was like, let's get our first puppy. And that's Miller. He says, Mom. I'm surprised I'm not too loud for him. He's like getting, older. So when it's loud, he's just like, I don't want this. I want to go sleep. Anybody want to drop like, why are you on this live tonight? And if not, I will just keep talking. I have no problem with that either. But I want to give you guys time to answer the questions that I'm, asking. Okay, if you type it, if you drop like why you're here, drop it. We'll come back to it, but I'm going to just keep talking. Here we go. Liz, I'm ready to start making a change in my life and start making money online. I love that. Thank you for being new. Thank you for being ready to participate. This is how we get things done. Like not being afraid to like say it. Let's put it into reality, right? Like what do we want to change? So for me, Liz, I don't know if you know my story since it's your first time on the lives or if you've been following me, reading my emails, whatever it is. I was actually an elementary teacher for 8 years and I coached club volleyball for 5 years. I grew up a very like straight and narrow path. I had very strict parents. There was no wavering the line. There was no question of what I had to do to be quote unquote successful in life. I'm very strict of going to school, getting good grades. After school, I was going to go to, college, get the degree. And I'm forever thankful for that. The experiences I had, what I learned, it showed me what I wanted and what I didn't want. Everything does happen for a reason. I don't ever regret anything. But what is crazy is society, tells us that is the only way to be successful. And truly, it's not, because I went to school, I got the good grades, I got a job, but it really didn't pay me that much. It paid me enough to get by. So I was tired of that because I was the teacher that always went above and beyond. I cared about my students. I was the one who always got the stuff done when we got new curriculum and what do the plans look like. And I wasn't getting paid to be paid more to be the overachiever. I also have a very bold personality. I'm not afraid to be like, hey, this isn't working. Hey, I don't think this is going to work, or question you. And that wasn't really liked in the teaching world. And it kept making me feel less about myself. But to me, that told me I had so much more to offer somewhere else, right? And so building this, it's allowed me to do that. Not only that, it allowed me to make more money. I started teaching and I graduated in, I know I'm not old, but I'm going to say age myself a little bit. I graduated college in 2014. So, you don't get that big of a raise. I wasn't making that much money. I lived in a studio apartment. I basically lived in that studio apartment. I met my husband, which was obviously my boyfriend at the time, and he moved into that studio apartment. We didn't get married. We met when we were 24. We didn't get married till we were 27, still living in the studio apartment, then moved into a townhome. Because of the financial, our finances in general, and we live in Iowa, so we don't live somewhere it's super expensive. There's really not a lot to do, honestly. So it's your money's not really getting spent on anything other than your living. So we would save up to travel like once a year, which was spring break. I never got to go on a spring break growing up. My parents basically told me, I'd be able to pay for so many other things if I felt like I needed, to go on those things. It's a whole other story. I never really went on a bunch of trips. And so travel was something that was always super important to me. And my husband and I, when we were dating at the time and now married, we've really prioritized, the travel and the experiences over things. And so, I feel like I'm kind of just like on a ramble right now. Is what I'm saying like making sense? And so I feel like I just start telling my story and I'm like, there's so much to it. It's hard to just tell one portion. And I just got tired of it all. Like I watched this video and I've like shared it in my stories before and I've kind of inserted my content, but I got like pissed off enough. Does that make sense? Like there's this most motivational speaker that says, if you're not making a change in your life, you're not pissed off enough. And I did. Like I reached a level where I was like, I'm absolutely freaking done with dealing with all of this. I'm done with dealing with people telling me what it takes to be successful. They're not even living the life I want to live. Like I'm done with people telling me how to do my job. Like I went to college and got a 4-year degree. I'm a professional. I'm tired of the lack of support, the disrespect, the underpaid, the feeling like I was nothing, right? You guys, we shouldn't go through life feeling so like empty inside. I felt that. I felt empty. I felt like teaching does matter. And if you're staying a teacher, you love teaching, we need good teachers, but we need to treat them better. Like it wasn't worth like my mental health. It wasn't worth the finances. It wasn't worth all the time I was putting in. Like it was crazy, right? And so you have that ability to take control of your time and your income with learning these skills. That's the whole thing of my live tonight. If you see the little caption I put, it's taking control of your time and your finances. And there are other ways to do that. Yes, there's lots of ways to do that. I specifically talk about digital and affiliate marketing because it is the most beginner-friendly way to get started when you don't have experience, when you don't have followers, when you don't have the tech skills, right? You're not wanting to go out and get another degree. You're not wanting to go out and create this massive business like Amazon or Uber, right? Like all those we see that become like these billionaire projects. We just want to make enough money to be happy, to live a life we want, to spend time with our family and our friends and our kids if you have them, to buy the organic groceries, to travel, to take one vacation or 10, to buy a bougie bag, to pay off debt. There are so many reasons why, but that why has to be strong enough and you have to be pissed off enough to make that change. All right, so looking for validation and that push. So the why you're here. So what do you feel like, and maybe you don't know, but what do you think looking for that validation or that push? Like, do you think that there's something that's gonna make you be like, aha, to start? Like, I'm curious. And there's no wrong answer. Like, that's the whole part of this process because we're figuring things out about ourselves that we didn't realize. I feel like that is like the biggest thing. It almost makes me like the most emotional when I talk about this because you're not really, you change and you don't change, right? Like when you come into this, you're coming in to share your knowledge about whatever that may be and profit from it. Whether that's health and fitness, relationships, wealth like I am, cars, pets, dogs specifically, whatever it is, and make money. And you're not changing that part of yourself. That's something unique about you. You have to share. And now let's get on here and learn how to monetize it. But your mindset, like it changes so much and you grow so much as a person. My financial knowledge has changed entirely in this. Like I'm able to be more involved. A lot of our friends are entrepreneurs, so I'm able to be involved in a lot of those conversations now where before it was completely over my head. I'm able to now help with our other investments. My husband and I do real estate investments. We invested in a lawn care company. I have this digital marketing business. He's in sales. And now I can be really like embedded in that. It's kind of funny because yesterday, when I was kind of off stories, like I said, I just needed a break over the weekend. But I'm helping like set up the social media for this lawn care company that we're investing in. Like, the skills that I have now don't just apply to this. It applies to so many aspects of my life. And I think that is the coolest part. And, I've really grown. I've spoken at live events, and that's like scary in person. I know I do it every week virtually, but obviously being real life is so different. I just think you underestimate how much you grow, like, as a person, like in your head, your confidence, your knowledge, and you just feel so empowered. Like, I didn't feel empowered at my job working for someone else, making someone else rich, like showing up to be a body in a room. I wake up every day empowered in this. There's actually another girl I have been chatting with pretty frequently. She's doing the dog niche, which I love. It was actually a niche I was going to go into before I decided to do the wealth niche. And she's messaging me all the time, like her videos that are popping off, her first sales. Like, I'm surprised she's not on here tonight. She was on last week, and she's like, I'm obsessed with this. And I'm like, isn't it? Like, I told you it was addicting. Like, I told you doing something like this is an outlet. Like, it's an outlet. You're coming to build something that you love, and you feel super empowered. All right, let me see. Pam, I am there now. I am ready to change this. Yeah, I feel that. And I know exactly what part you were talking about when I said, like, you have to be like, I'm done with this shit. Like, I'm pissed off enough. I'm going to do anything it takes to change. And that's the mindset it takes. I see so many people in this space that aren't ready to take that leap because they think, and not to say like, I see that you said, yes, I'm looking for that aha moment, but that's what so many people are looking for. And I don't think you find that. I'm kind of answering a 2-for-1 here. I don't think you find that until you get in it and you start learning about it and you start learning about yourself. And, people want to just like get online and, let's, use my page, obviously, for example, and just binge all the content and think that they're going to be an expert. And it's like, it doesn't work that way because there are so many other pieces that go behind it. And, that's what we're on here to talk about. For me to, if you don't have my free digital starter kit, comment ready and I can get that sent to you. But there are pieces that make this run successfully, no matter what your niche is, no matter if you're an affiliate promoting other companies' products or services, if you create your own products, everyone uses the same system behind it. Now, they might use different, I feel like a hair or something. Sorry, guys. I can like feel it. Dog hairs, probably. I got 2 big dogs. Even if they use different software, like, the whole formula is the same. Okay. And so you just got to be willing to dive in, invest, and learn that, right? Like, I don't know how else to say that to you. You have to be willing to do that. And Pam, if you're saying like, you're there now, I'm ready to change this, that means you're ready to go full throttle. That means you're ready to buy an education to help you dive even deeper into this. Investing in your education is what's going to fast track this for you. And finding people you trust to invest in. Please don't just go buy a bunch of stuff and beginner level courses and invest in everything, because you will end up spending more money and be more overwhelmed and confused in the end. Find that person and follow the path that they recommend, okay? And that means that you are working at it every single day. Every single day. Is it okay to take breaks? 100%. But at least put something into it every day, right? I still posted over the weekend, even though I took a break from my stories. That relieved more of that being off my phone more for me. But when I first started, I made sure I put in an hour every single day. whether that hour was, my commute in the car, because I had 30 minutes to work and 30 minutes home. I was listening to audiobooks, on the entrepreneurship. I was listening to motivational stuff. I was listening to, not in the car, but like in the morning when I got ready or after work, I would listen to like the course I had, invested in and learned about it. I would spend time working on pieces. This isn't something you're going to build today, tomorrow. It's going to take time, and your timeline is going to look different than everybody else's. Because you are unique, you are your own person. And so it's just committing of how much time do I have today, and you get done what you can, right? I used to get upset because I'd have a big list. I was a teacher, so like lists are everything. And I would get upset because I only finished one thing on the list in the time I had that day. And my husband would stop me and tell me, like, Stephanie, this is brand new. The fact that you finished one thing off your list today is amazing. And I think we need to take that pressure off of ourselves of everything, we have to get done in that amount of time. And it's, what did I get done today? Let's celebrate that. Let's be proud of that, because I'm building this for longevity. I'm not building this as a get-rich-quick scheme or overnight success, because that's not what this is. The freedom to do all of those things. Yes, like the freedom to do whatever you want, and that's okay. For me, doing what I wanted, again, I already talked about this, but the traveling was super, super important to me. Like the being able, we do like the finer things. Like we eat out very frequently. We are foodies. We like nice food places. Like we want to be able to afford to do those things. Like we want to be able to stay in nice places. We want to be able to take our dogs as much as we can. And those hotel pet fees can be expensive. We're always looking for nice places that have free pet fees. We like to do that stuff, and we're able to do that now because of the time that, I took, and obviously our other investments. Like we have multiple businesses that make our lifestyle possible now, but this is one of them. And especially if you don't have I had none of that kind of financial knowledge, you guys. When I started, I was always like, I don't know. I can pay my rent, like when I was younger, but my husband would laugh, when we were dating, because he would help me with those things and how we sorted out our finances when we were dating. He would laugh because he'd be like, Stephanie, your bank account is like, when you're in a hospital and it's flatlined, and then you get payday. Like when my first couple of years of teaching, I got paid once a month. It was on the 20th. And so, isn't it crazy? I remember that. And the 20th I would get paid. And then a few days later, when rent was due on the 1st, it would go back down and it would be flatlined. That's just how it was. And I was like, well, I'm just saving up to go on one trip. Like I can't do anything else. I can't take any time off. And what is there to do in Iowa? Really nothing. It's cold most of the time. Like you can see, I'm bundled up. And that's why we're looking to move. But yes, I'm looking for that aha. I feel like I already addressed this, but I don't think you're just going to get the aha. Right? I think people, the more they wait, the more they consume and watch, and it kind of holds you back a little bit more because you're going to keep watching and keep watching. It's just taking that first step and diving in and doing a little bit each day, like I said. And I think you do find that aha. That was me, honestly. I had a small one before I started, but it was quick. Like I said, I was so done. I was so done with dealing with all that shit. I was mindlessly scrolling one night, and I didn't wait weeks, months. I saw this girl talking about affiliate and digital marketing. I saw she was talking about making 5 figures a month from a teacher bringing only $3,000 home a month. I was like, if I can just replace $3,000 a month, I'll be happy, and I'll be out of here. And obviously your goals change the longer you're in this, and you start hitting certain points, and then you want more. That's just how it is when you see what's possible. But I was like, I can do this. And you're here. You're already saying, like, I can do this, right? And so I was like, if I think I can do this, then I'm going to dive in and I'm going to invest into an education. And as I went through that education, that's when my aha moment hit. I was literally like, oh my gosh, that is how, again, we're not influencers, right? Because we're actually like providing typically some kind of educational thing, right? You're solving a problem somewhat for someone in that affiliate digital marketing. But influencers use the affiliate marketing side. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's how that back end works for my favorite influencers when I'm commenting on their posts, or, you know, when I receive an email from my favorite brands and my favorite stores because they asked me for my email to receive a coupon. And like my wheels just started spinning. And those were my aha moments. And I was excited to build something around what I loved talking about and doing, but I got to do it being my own boss and not someone telling me how to do it. And my finances were up to me. So I'm a hard worker. Okay. I get paid my worth now, to where before I was the teacher that everyone's like, oh, Steph will get this done. But they were tenor teachers, which typically meant they were probably already getting paid more than me, but I'm doing all this work. And I'm like super perfectionist, little OCD. So I make sure it gets done. Like I cannot be the last minute person like a lot of those teachers. I was like, it's got to be done. I got to have this done. I got to know what the heck I'm doing. So yes, you just showed me that sometimes a degree does not give financial freedom. And yeah, Liz, it doesn't truly, because what's crazy, I have a couple thoughts. See, my brain is like, what's crazy is people complain so much about having to invest in themselves to learn online, but it's not even a fraction of the hundreds, tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars people take out in loans to go to college. And then you're basically spending most of your time getting a job to pay off those student loans, right? Do you see that cycle? Right? And even if you come out with you don't have student loans, or, however your situation is, because everyone's different. Yeah, it's great you don't have that debt, but then you're just using that money to just pay your bills and get by. Right? And there's a reason for that. Society does not want you to know there are other ways to make money, because they want the majority of people to stay workers. They want the workers, right? I think it's so crazy when I get like the rude comments of like, get a real job. And in my mind, it's like, get a real job. Okay, get a real job working for someone. So does the person I work for not have a real job because they're their own boss and they make their own money, but they've hired me to then do the work? Do you see how silly that sounds? And people don't realize it because it's just how we've been brought up forever and ever and ever. And it's really, really hard to break that mindset. It really, really is. And that's why I come on here every day, is to help you break that mindset that there are other possibilities. I'm not saying that it's easy, okay? It's a simple strategy and it gets easier the more you do it. I'm not saying you're gonna make $1 million, but what I'm saying is it's gonna give you the skills you need to build something on your own, and one day is better than never, right? I was like, I don't care how long this takes me to build, because one day I will get to where I want to be. But if I stayed in the classroom, I stayed teaching, I stayed doing the same thing year after year, over and over again, I knew what my year was going to look like the next year and the next year and the next year. And I knew what my pay was going to look like, and I was going to be stuck, and I was going to be miserable. And I was never going to get to do the things that I wanted. Half the things I've done the past almost 3 years of doing this I would never even have done half of that. Okay. We travel every single month now. When I was teaching, I got to go on one trip at least once a month now, but one a year. And now I travel at least 12 or more times a year. Like, I just want you to put that into perspective, and I want you to know what's possible. Yeah, and it's just, and I'm not saying degrees are, like I said, I don't regret getting a degree. I met amazing people. I learned a lot, but it doesn't give you financial freedom. It just helps you live a life, a comfortable life, not all, but some people are okay with that. My husband and I have that conversation all the time, whether it was people I worked with, people he's worked with, that are like, they're just content. They want to do minimum work. They want to go to a mindless 9 to 5, because then they're most of the time people's brains get to shut off when they leave work, and then they know what paycheck is coming in every week, bi-weekly, monthly, however you get paid. And some people are okay with that life, and that's okay. But then there's people like us that are on here and we're not okay with that life. We're tired of the monotonous wake up, hurry, whatever your morning looks like, scarf down your breakfast. Maybe it's in the car. I felt like half the time I was eating a bagel and showed up with butter on my outfit from my bagel when I got to school, because I had a 30-minute commute, and that depended on the weather because it snows a crap ton in Iowa most of the time in the winter. Rushing out the door, being at work all day with not the people who matter most in your life, right? Not your family, not your friends, not your pets, your kids, whoever. And then coming home, and then that was choosing between like, I'm exhausted, maybe you don't feel good, maybe you have a migraine, but you've got things going on. Like, you get my point, right? And you're making dinner, choosing to work out, whatever that is, and then going to bed to repeat the same day over and over again, and living for the weekend. And living for me, it was the weekend or the next holiday break. Like, you best believe I always had a countdown to every single break. But those breaks weren't really breaks, because it was like, I was exhausted, right? I was exhausted, and most of the time it was recovery mode. So yeah, I feel like I need to have it figured out before I start. Do I need to get that out of my head? Yeah, Pam, you nailed that on the head. You do not have to have it figured out before you start. Starting is how you figure it out, right? It's starting messy, it's learning, it's making mistakes, because if you don't start, you won't know. Now, learning the foundations first, right? I don't want you to like dive in and start posting links everywhere. I want you to learn the foundations and then the setup that goes behind it. When I spoke in, honestly, I hear it on social media all the time when I have conversations in my DMs, but in Nashville, when I was flown out to speak last September, I heard so many people in tears, and I get it. Like, people were in tears being like, Stephanie, I'm trying to set up my back-end systems, and I'm also trying to post 3 times a day, and I can't do it. How do you do this? And I said, you're trying to do all of that? I would go insane too. I said, when I started, I did everything in order, even though it was going to take longer, right? Because some people can build and post. That would have drove me nuts. My mind would have been in 1,000 places. But I invested in my education. I went through it. I researched what I was learning about. I built it. I figured out what the heck I was going to do. What was my niche? Who was my target audience? What were my pain points? Who was I going to talk to? I set up all of the technology side. I put my own junk emails in to make sure it worked. I made my husband go through it to make sure it worked. And then I started posting. So many people don't want to just start at step 1, and that's not having it all figured out. And then they're in step 10, and I'm like, whoa, we skipped 9 steps over here. No wonder you have no idea what the hell you're doing. Like, I'm not kidding. So yes, you're not going to have it figured out. There are things that I still, almost 3 years later, I'm like, yeah, I didn't even think that that's how that worked. You're always going to be learning something new in a business, just like you're always learning sometimes something new in your job. Maybe something changes, right? Like the way things are marketed, a new software, like things are always going to be changing, and it's always being willing to learn. Liz, I hope you're still here. I've been rambling. Do you have different accounts for the things you're affiliate for? So no, I'm only in the wealth niche. So I am an affiliate for over 10 companies in my niche. I am an affiliate for things not in my niche, but it's more if people are like, hey, Steph, where'd you get that? And then I'm like, what? Do they have an affiliate program? I'll send them that link. But if it is in your specific niche, right, everything I talk about is going to help you make money online. Whether it's education, software, digital products to scale, meeting with me one-on-one. That can all be promoted on the same platform because it's in the same niche. But I would not be on here talking about dog products and how to make money online because that doesn't fit. Okay, that would be two different niches. So no, the way it's done most of the time, right? It depends on your niche. This looks a little bit different. So for example, wealth, right? You don't need any of the other stuff I recommend if you're not going to do step one and learn how to do this, which is grabbing my free kit and investing in the challenge that I recommend. If you don't learn how to do it, you don't need the software and the digital products to scale, right? So all of my traffic, right, is always referenced back to grab my free kit, and the next step is to start that challenge. Now, this looks a little different, right? For people, say maybe they're in the home decor niche. They might have multiple links, like in a link tree, a different type, right? It's a platform that hosts multiple links. I can't talk. And then they might have multiple DM automations set up. Like, I'm going to use pets, for example. Like on a video, I might say, DM me the word paw, right? To get this paw protectant I'm talking about. You know how they have like oils and lotions for dogs' paws. DM me teeth for this toothbrush that gets the plaque off. You know, comment. I'm trying to think of what other dog food. You know, comment turkey for this best dog food. So they might have multiple of those set up because it makes sense to have multiple products for a niche like that, like in your content. But most of the time it's like, okay, we're coming on here and I want to solve a problem for people. Okay. So maybe it's weight loss, right? Maybe you're on a journey to lose weight, or maybe you've already lost weight. You can take that two different angles, but you're helping people learn how to do that, or you've found a way, right? You've solved a problem. Maybe it's, the best dog training program if you don't want to have to go to a dog trainer. That was huge during COVID because, right, none of that was open and people were getting dogs like me. I used one online. And you're going to help them train their pet the basics from home, and it's directed towards there. Maybe it's, I'm trying to think, like pasta. I have a friend in the pasta niche, and, you're going to teach them how to make a certain kind of pasta. So you want to be niche specific. And people ask me all the time, like, well, I'm going to learn this. I can do this in multiple niches. And I'm like, 100%. You can. I could have the skills to open this in any other niche that I want to. But you have to remember, you're new, and doing one niche alone is going to be overwhelming. If you get the hang of that one and you feel like you want to open another niche, by all means, go for it. The reason I haven't is one of my big factors is I wanted more time. I wanted more time to travel. I wanted more time to hang out with my nieces and my soon-to-be nephew at the end of the month. I wanted more time with my friends, my dogs, my family. And I do this in 1 to 3 hours a day. But if I open another niche, well, that's another 1 to 3 hours a day. I'm not looking for another full-time job, right? I'm looking for something that I can fit around my life. And when you open multiple niches, then that takes away that time, right? Does that make sense? So it's kind of like, I always tell people, I say this all the time because it's exactly how I thought. I always thought of the big picture. Where do I see my business going one day? What do I want? Right? But you still have to make sure you start down here to learn the steps, because I'm trying to think of how to say this. If you don't think of the big picture, then you don't know where you want your business to go. But you can't start way up here and think you're going to have all of these products. I started with being an affiliate for 3 companies, and that was it. And then the more experience I got and more products I knew that would help people's business, I became an affiliate for them. When I had people asking me a bunch of questions about specific things, I knew what digital products to create. I eventually then launched one-on-ones. But I didn't learn this and make people pay me to do a one-on-one with me when I was brand new myself. Some of that you need time and experience. Now, maybe you are already a coach in something and you do have that experience, and that's something you're going to jump in right away. I love that for you. Do it. but you have to kind of figure out yourself and your business plan and where you want that to go. Underpaid and undervalued is not okay anymore. You are 100% correct, Pam. It's ridiculous. Like, we don't have to live that way. Okay. Woof. Oh my gosh, it's 6:40 already. That is crazy. What other questions do you have for me? Like, what do you want to know? I feel like I always talk about the ways to make money, but I love that we're having like these conversations, like about the kind of the mindset and like how to actually take control of your time and your finances and like learning those. And like I said, if you don't have my free digital starter kit, comment ready. I have my computer open. Like, I could manually send it to you. If you comment it on the replay, it will, my DM automation my little Steph bot will send it to you. But what other questions like do you have? Worries, concerns? Like, I feel like you just have to dive in and start. Like, if you want this, if you want to do this, it's just diving in and starting 100%. And it's going to feel scary and overwhelming and messy, and you might cry. I've done all those things. I've done all of those things. What do you want to know? Burning questions. Does the starter kit explain how to get started? Yes. So my starter kit actually is very affiliate marketing based in the beginning, because most beginners want to start with promoting other companies' products or services. And then it talks about the steps that you need to take, like what's required to set this up successfully. And then the last, not the last page, but then I also talk about the core 4 ways to make money online in there. And then the last page is like all the tools and resources that I recommend. Obviously, you don't need to start with all of them, any of them to get started. It's just ones you can come back to, because you will need some of them eventually, just kind of depending on what you're needing. And obviously linked in there is also the challenge that I recommend, because it dives even deeper to kind of show you more in depth to get you set up faster than does that make sense? And if you sign up through the challenge through me, I send you $74 worth of bonuses. The challenge is only $25, so basically giving you a bunch of stuff for free. It's a quick digital starter checklist. So it's a checklist so you can go through, make sure you're getting everything completed in order before you launch. And then my master reel checklist. So basically, I got asked a bunch when my reels started popping off, and I created a checklist and then talked about each component that's important to have to get a high-performing reel. Is it hard to create content? Well, I've been doing this for almost 3 years now, so no, not for me now, but it does take a little time to get used to. So you just kind of have to play with the apps. You have to find the one you like to edit on the most. I started with TikTok and started editing with that one. I would say I edit most of my content in CapCut or Instagram. That's just the ones I become most comfortable with, where I can get it done a lot quicker. ChatGPT is very, very helpful with that. Refining your ideas, refining your captions. It's just getting into the swing of things, right? Everything we start brand new is going to feel hard, but the more you do it, the simpler it is. And then down the line, the more, I don't know how many posts I have, 2,700 posts at this point. I can now go back and repurpose some of that content, reuse it that I've posted before. I can recreate the ideas that I've performed. So the more you do it, the simpler it becomes, and you can reuse some of that stuff. It's not like we're always creating brand new content, 3 pieces of content every single day. It's what's working? What's resonating with your audience? Let's recreate that then. So not really. You want to post content that is entertaining but educational about what you're helping people with. And then also storytelling, whether it's taking them along through your journey. Like I said, the weight loss, maybe someone's trying to lose weight and they take you through that journey. Or you've already, maybe lost that weight. And so you're showing them and sharing their story of how it worked for you. So storytelling is going to be so important because people come on this app to feel seen, feel heard, to be related to. And so those are very, very powerful pieces of content. And it's truly, what's really cool is you're almost telling your own story, because most of the time your target audience is a version of you or a former version of you. If you look at my page, you see I talk about teaching a lot, right? That's my story. No, that's a lot of people that relate with me. So it's a big portion of my target audience. And I talk about the experiences I had and my pain points. You're sharing your story and then the solution that you found. So that's why I always tell people you're not recreating yourself. You're learning the skills behind something that you have to share. What else do you guys have for me? Pam, do you have my free kit? I'm not sure. I can always look. Pam Gibson 726. I'm gonna peek. Oh, it looks like you've gotten my DM automation a few times. Oh, and implementation day. Yes, there's only one implementation day this month, actually. It's, I think it's the 23rd. I don't know. I think that's that Friday. I don't have my calendar up. But it looks like you've got all that. I'm sleepy. He's like snoring on me. Little snores. What else? What else do you guys have for me? We've had really, really good questions tonight. Really good comments. What else? Anything? Comments? What niche? Let me ask you this question. What niche do you feel like you would be interested in? Niche is the topic. So like I said, I'm wealth, there's health and fitness, relationships. Like, what do you think you could help people with? What do you think you could help someone with? And everyone has something. I tell people all the time, it feels so normal to you because you do it daily or all the time. But most people would be like, wow, what a cool hack. Like, I never thought of that. What a solution. Is it cleaning? Is it cooking? Like, what is something you would want to monetize? Do you have a thought on that? What do you think? What niche? I'm just scrolling, make sure I didn't miss anything. No takers? Oh, here we go. Liz, I do not know. I have always been a stay-at-home mom, and I do not think I have much to bring. You have tons to bring. You do. It's exactly what I just explained, so it's funny you say that. What's really nice is that, the challenge I recommend when you grab my free kit, Liz, they give you a ton of prompts to use for ChatGPT, and it helps you decide your niche. So that's why, it'll get to know you, and it'll be like, here are some niche ideas. And you're like, oh my gosh, I never thought of that. So that's something to keep in mind. But you do, you're a stay-at-home mom. So maybe it's parenting hacks. I've had someone who's creating a chore schedule for kids. Is it chores? Is it behavior management? Is it activities when they're bored, right? Because social media and TV and video games and stuff are so big. How do we get them off screen time? Healthy lunches, snacks, meals. There's a stay-at-home mom doing oh my gosh, an Instant Pot. So fast meals for families that she can get done. And so she has all these Instant Pot meals. There are so many things. Like, moms have so many skills. Everyone has so many skills, but moms, like, you have so many. Do you have anything that's like on the tip of your mind? I could probably like give you a million ideas of it. I feel like I'm interested in that wealth niche, but I'm not sure if it's because what comes across. I feel like a lot of people feel this way, and it's not bad if you want to be in the wealth niche. Like, some people come into this and they're still like, I have no clue I want to do. Like, I'm going to start in the wealth niche, and then they start this and they do it, and then they realize like, I don't really like this, or it shows them something else that they would rather do. Does that make sense? So if you're passionate about helping people learn how to like make money online, or maybe there's like I don't know, like I have someone that's doing, technically is wealth insurance. I don't know. People like in the insurance niche right now, like there are so many different parts in wealth. That's why you have to get really specific. Like, I help people, like normal everyday people, learn how to earn online with digital and affiliate marketing. Like, that's very specific. So if you want to start with wealth, like dive in, jump in and start there. Like, I honestly, when I started with the education, like I said earlier, I thought I was going to go in the dog niche. But then I started thinking big picture, like long term, of where my business would expand in 3 to 5 years. And I didn't see myself doing one-on-ones with pet parents, like dog parents. And I didn't see myself like speaking at live events about dogs. And that's something I really, really wanted in my business. And that's how wealth fits so much for me, like fits so well for me, because I'm already super passionate about like the teaching aspect, the coaching aspect. I have the skills to like break down complex concepts and teach them to people. I then could go on to, once I master this, to speak at live events like I have and do the one-on-ones. So it is like, it's okay if that's where you feel like you're being pulled right now. And maybe you get into the education, maybe you get into starting this and you like change your mind like I did. But don't go, I will say this, don't go into it if you think that's the only place money is made, because that's not true. Like, if you go online, you see links in so many bios. You go to that search bar on social media and you type in any niche, it's being monetized and people make really good money. Just no other niche talks about money, right? Say you're going to buy dog food. You don't give a crap that girl just made $40 off your buying a bag of dog food. You want to know about the dog food, right? Well, people come to our page to hear about money, making money. So just keep in mind that you don't hear about making like the numbers in money in other niches, because they would never share that because their audience would not care. Pam, I work 2 jobs and my part-time job is being a hairdresser. I have an abundance of knowledge in that and would love to share information or educate specifically beginners. I love that. Yeah, you could do like the hair tutorials, hairstyles. You could become an affiliate for the products, the best hair products that you would recommend. Totally. Or DIYers. They're the ones that get in trouble. LOL. Yeah. See, you've got ideas. Now, if you dive into the education I have been talking about, right, and you even plug those into ChatGPT, they can give you so many more ideas that you're like, oh my gosh, that's a good idea. I will say, you guys, it's okay. Like, when you're brainstorming and stuff, if you don't like an idea and you're like brainstorming with ChatGPT, to tell it like you don't like that. I say that all the time. ChatGPT, that doesn't sound like me. ChatGPT, I hate this. Like, let's come up with a different idea. I'm thinking this instead. Like, at the end of the day, it's still kind of meant to please you. It's very nice to you, but you got to be very direct with it and tell it what you want to get those ideas out of it. Very smart tool, but very stupid tool at the same time. All right. Do we have any final thoughts? Questions? Because I think we're rearing. I can't go over an hour. I can't I just can't post it on some of my other platforms because they don't let you do it over an hour. Not that that matters. Any final questions before I do kind of my little end of the night spiel? I don't know if you can hear him snoring or not. All right, I will do it, but if you have a question, I will answer it. Don't let that stop you. Okay, so I hope you, oh my gosh, what was I going to say? Oh, I'll post this right after I get off, so you'll have access to the replay. I actually email it out the next morning as well, so check your emails. If you haven't gotten started yet, you want more information, comment ready. You'll get my free digital starter kit, the beginner-friendly challenge that I recommend that dives even deeper. I answer everything. So if you email me, DM me, DMs are easier because I can send voice messages, but however you message me, I answer everybody. I want you to feel supported in this. I want you to get the success that you're looking for in the right direction. So that's what I'm here. I'm here to show you that. I got my notifications. That's why I did that. Yeah, but I hope you guys have a great night, a great rest of your week, and I'll be live next Monday. I don't have anything that's going to interfere. So I'll be live again next Monday at 6 p.m. Central Time. Thank you for your time tonight. Absolutely. Thank you for the help. Yeah, Liz, do you have, before I go, do you have my free digital starter kit and things to look at? I'm going to see. Oh, it looks like you did. You commented on one of my stories from LA. Okay, so it looks like you have that information. So just wanted to make sure. But guys, stop waiting to get started. We only get more confused, more overwhelmed. Like, you have this feeling inside for a reason. Take the leap. It's not going to be perfect. You're not going to know everything before you start. That's not how it works, right? That's what education and learning and all this stuff is for, what I'm here for. Yeah, but have a great night, and we will, if we don't chat in the DMs, I hope to see you next Monday. Have a great night, guys.